Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start with a very short video. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joy Hatchett, and I'm the Associate Commissioner for the Consumer Education and Advocacy Unit here at the Maryland Insurance Administration. During today's presentation, we're going to be going over some tips and some information about what people can do to recover in the event that they have damage as a result of a disaster, a storm, or even something as very personal as a fire at their home. This disaster presentation will basically be in two parts. The first part, we're going to go over some general information that's applicable to all consumers, and there'll be an opportunity to generally ask some very general questions. Once that portion is finished, then we will also have the opportunity if you have specific questions about your claim or your damage, there are going to be a set of experts that are going to be able to speak with you in breakout rooms. The first portion of the presentation is being recorded, but once we go to the breakout rooms, that portion is not going to be recorded. What I would ask is my colleague Gigi to come online and allow people to know that the breakout rooms, we will have bilingual translators available if they require it. Gigi?
Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos al Centro Virtual de Desastre de la Administración de Seguros de Maryland. Si alguien necesita un intérprete en español, estarán disponibles en las sesiones privadas. Por favor, indique en el cuadro de chat. Gracias.
Thank you, Gigi. So we'll get started with the presentation at this point. And what I would ask is, while we're doing the presentation, if people can keep themselves on mute, keep your cameras off, and enter any questions that you might have in the chat. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. Next slide, please. So I'm going to start out by telling you just some general things that you should do if in fact you have damage or have had some kind of an issue with damage from either the storm that we had on Monday or any storm. And one of the first things we tell people is you should report your claim. And you can report your claim by either contacting your insurance producer, that's your agent or your broker, or your insurance company. And you can find out how to contact them by the little insurance card that your insurance company sends you. There'll be a phone number on that. Just give them a call and let them know that you've had damage. The reason that that is so important is you want to make sure that you're on record in real time when that damage occurred, so that later on the insurance company can't dispute as to when your claim arose. And when you make that first call, you need to start making a record of everyone you speak with. So write down, and I tell people frequently, the best thing to do is get a little notebook and write down, I called insurance company X on this date and reported my claim. At the same time, or right after you notify the insurance company, start taking pictures of all of your damage. So for those people who had trees fall on their home or on their house, on their home, their apartments, or their cars, take pictures so that the insurance company can see exactly what happened and the extent of that damage. And when you contact the insurance company, they may have some questions for you. They are going to probably want to know where exactly the tree is. Is it still on your home? Can you live in your home? So just be ready to answer those questions. And on this first slide, you see links. The links here on the slide basically give you more information and more specifics. And in case you're wondering, yes, this entire presentation will be on our website so that you don't have to remember everything that I talk about today. You'll be able to see these slides and get this information later. Next slide, please. So if you've had damage to your home or your vehicle, just make sure that you give the insurance company, your insurance agent, and most importantly, the insurance adjuster, the current phone number to get in touch with you. So let's say you're unfortunate enough to have damage to your home and you're no longer able to stay in your home. Then you don't want to give the insurance company your home phone number because you're not there for them to call you. You need to give them your cell phone number. But if you give them your cell phone number, make sure you keep your cell phone charged. And what I tell people is frequently the best thing to do is give the insurance company 2 or 3 different numbers. So let's say you give them your neighbor's or a friend's phone number or a number of someone that doesn't live near you. So they have multiple ways to get in touch with you. Frequently, what we hear is, well, I didn't hear back from the insurance company. And then we check the phone number that the insurance company has listed is not a phone number that's available for them to get in touch with you. Another very important tip, if you've had damage to your home, extensive damage, make sure that if they send someone out to your home, that your address is actually visible from the street. Let's say there's a lot of wind and the wind has blown away the signage on the front of your house. So there's no way for the insurance company to figure out where your home is. You may end up needing to either nail that signage back up or put something on the outside so it's clear what home it is. When the insurance company sends someone out to your home to inspect the damage, if at all possible, try to be there. Also, you can have your contractor there as well so that the 3 of you can walk through your home, see where the damage is. And the reason that's really important is to make sure that the insurance company doesn't miss something. So let's say that you've got damage on the front side, so the insurance company doesn't see you to talk to you, they might miss what's on the back side. So make sure, if at all possible, you are at home at the time that the insurance company visits your property. Next slide, please. Now, this is also sometimes really important. Making sure that you get several bids from different contractors so that you can compare what your contractor is saying that it will cost to do the repairs to what the insurance company's adjuster says that it will cost. And let me step back for a second. I'm using a couple of terms and I want to make sure that everybody understands these terms. So the insurance company has their adjusters, and those adjusters are employed by the insurance company, and they are paid for by the insurance company. Then you will have a contractor that you hire to do the repairs. And clearly that's someone that you're paying. Now, you may pay for that contractor with the proceeds from the insurance company, but you are paying for that contractor. Now, there's another type of adjuster. That's called a public adjuster. That adjuster does not work for the insurance company. You are hiring that adjuster. That adjuster is paid for by you. So it's important that you realize that the insurance company's adjuster is working on their behalf and they pay them. The public adjuster is working on your behalf, and you are responsible for their payment. And the contractor is working on your behalf, and you are responsible for paying them. So when you get the contractor, then the contractor, there's certain things that Maryland law requires. But the first thing we tell people is that if you're hiring a contractor, one of the most important things that you can do as a consumer is make sure that that contractor is licensed by the state of Maryland. And why is that so important? If at some point in the process you have an issue or a problem with the workmanship, or you paid the contractor money and they're not performing, then you can go to the Maryland Home Improvement Commission and take action against that contractor. But if that contractor is not licensed, then you lose that option. So it's really important that if you hire or when you hire a contractor, you check with the Maryland Home Improvement Commission to make sure that contractor is licensed. And you can also check with them to see if there are any issues or concerns with the prior work that that contractor has done. Now, the other thing you need to be careful of is sometimes we will see where contractors or roofers offer to waive a deductible or promise to provide you some type of a rebate. That is illegal in the state of Maryland. So just realize that in terms of your deductible, you are responsible for paying that. And that's an important thing for you to know. And you should also, if you end up with questions that you need in advance or something like that, talk to your insurance company. Sometimes, under certain circumstances, they may be able to give you a certain amount of money if there's major damage. So talk to your insurance company about that. Next slide, please. So one of the things, especially when you've had major damage to your home and you can no longer live in your home, under most policies, they have something called additional living expenses. And that'll allow you to receive certain money in order to get another place to live or get some of the additional expenses paid while your home is being repaired. Talk to your insurance company to find out what you're entitled to under the terms of your specific policy. Also, what we frequently see, I hate to say it, is we see price gouging after events like this, where all of a sudden the price for building materials or other things are astronomical. If you see any cases of that, you should report that to the Attorney General's office or the Maryland Department of Labor. Next slide, please. So if you have personal property that's damaged, you want to make sure that you include that in your claim. But what we frequently see is that property that has been dirty or just slightly damaged, people will throw it away without allowing the insurance company to examine it and tell you, well, this can be, you don't need to throw away these clothes, they can be washed. So it's really important. Remember, I spoke about making sure that the insurance company, you contact them immediately about your claim. Make sure you have a discussion with the insurance company before you throw anything away or before you do permanent repairs. So let's say you've got a huge hole in your roof. It's critical that you put up a tarp or something to make sure that there's not additional damage done to your roof, but the repairs should not be permanent repairs until the insurance company has the opportunity to inspect that damage. That's the key here, making sure that they have the chance to come out and look at the damage. Now, the insurance company may say to you, it's okay, we don't need to see it, just send us pictures, but you need to give them the option. And if they tell you they don't need to see it, make sure that you have that statement in writing. Next slide, please. So here are some additional resources and information on how to contact us. If you have an issue with, we have consumers that come to us with all types of questions. Is it a reasonable amount of time for my claim to be taking 3 weeks? I haven't heard from the insurance company, or I don't understand the process. All of those questions you can bring to us here at the Maryland Insurance Administration, and we will answer your questions and help you go through the insurance process. Now, things that we don't do, we will not come out and inspect your home or your vehicle. We also will not tell you how much your claim is worth. We will not tell you whether a particular contractor is a good contractor. But what we will do is give you the tools that you need to go through the claims process successfully. And you'll see our phone number, 1-800-492-6116. Just give us a call and you can speak one-on-one with an expert. Next slide, please. And here are some additional resources and information. We have lots and lots of consumer advisories and information to help you better understand your claims and questions that you have regarding the damage that you had. Now, today I really focused a lot on damage to your home. And remember, that damage also applies if you're a renter. But I know that a number of people had damage to their automobiles as well. We can assist you with all of that as well. So any of those claims questions, we can try to answer some general questions today. And as I indicated, you'll also have the chance to speak one-on-one with one of our staff once we finish the general questions. Next slide, please. And so here's our contact information. Once again, the phone numbers. And at any time, not just as a result of this particular event, if you have any insurance questions, and remember, the Maryland Insurance Administration helps with auto, home, life insurance, and health insurance. So any insurance questions at all, we are here to answer your questions. So what I want to do now is open it up to see if anyone has any general questions. And you can either put those questions in the chat or raise your hand. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. And I'm not seeing any hands raised. So if you would like to go to a breakout room, please indicate that in the chat. All right, where that tree fell, that will dictate what is going to be paid for by the insurance company. Okay, the next question I have is, where can we find, and I think it's public adjusters, and what is the average cost for public adjusters? So we regulate public adjusters, but we don't maintain a list that we provide to the public, to consumers. That's not, we don't have a list like that on our website. You could probably just look that up. But what I would tell you is that you should make sure that if you decide to hire a public adjuster, that they do have been licensed by the Maryland Insurance Administration. And then the public adjuster, the next part of this question is, what's the cost? Just like attorneys, public adjusters generally take a percentage. That percentage can be anywhere from 15 to 40%. And that's 15 to 40% of how much you recover. So you need to make sure you understand what that percentage is, because if you, let's say you have $10,000 worth of damage and you have to pay the public adjuster 20%, that means you're left with only $8,000 to pay for the repairs to your property. So it's really important that you understand the terms of any agreement before you sign it with a public adjuster. Okay, I see another, I think I understand this. Rate increase after making claim on roof replacement. Yes. So what this person is asking is, if you have a claim, can the insurance company increase your premium? And the quick and short answer to that is yes. It's going to depend specifically on the particular company. And for a lot of companies, it's going to depend on how long you've been with that company. But as a general rule, if you have a claim and you are subject to getting an increase in premium from your insurance company. Now, one of the things that people often also ask is, well, can they cancel me? Generally speaking, after you've had, they cannot cancel you for a weather-related claim unless you've had 3 or more weather-related claims. So let's say you're very unfortunate and you had a claim in July when we had that big storm, and you had another one on Monday as a result of that storm. And then in 3 weeks, we have another one. Based on that third claim, yes, the insurance company could possibly cancel you. But they can always, depending on the terms of your policy, increase your premium. And if you have a question about them increasing your premium, then what you can do is file a complaint with us, and we can review your action and to make sure that what they've done is in accordance with Maryland law. Any other general questions, or is everyone else? Okay. So my question is about the content damage that is in a vehicle when the vehicle is damaged in a storm. Okay, so if you have personal items in your car, and let's say a tree falls on your car or something else bad happens, that's generally not going to be covered by your automobile policy. That's something that's going to be covered by your homeowners or your renter's policy. So you would end up filing a claim under your homeowners and renter's policy that covers that particular you. So if you are driving around and let's say you've got I don't know, your laptop, you just went and bought a bunch of gifts or whatever, all of that you would have to file a claim under your homeowners or renter's policy in order to get that claim handled. And it will depend on the specific terms of your policy. And the other portion, the same person asked me, and does the same apply for a MVA? I'm not sure I understand that question. Maybe if you could clarify what you mean by does the same apply for an MVA? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking there. So maybe if you could clarify that for me. Okay, and then the next question, yes. And Joyce, if you wouldn't mind putting my email address in the chat. The question is if someone can email me questions and we could respond to them. Yes, just send me an email with the specific questions and we will have we'll have someone get back to you. Okay, so getting back to this, okay, so they're asking if content were damaged as a result in an auto accident. The same thing would apply. You would need to, that complaint would be something that you would have to process under your homeowners or renters policy. Any other questions? Or is everybody else waiting to go to a breakout room?
Everybody that's asked for breakout room is already in one.
All right, so if anyone else wants to go to a breakout room, please indicate that in the chat. Or if you have any additional questions, please type those in the chat. And Joyce, if you could also put in the chat the FAQs so that people could see those. And what we will do after this is the this video and the recording and the slides will all be available on our website either today or tomorrow. And this set of FAQs that Joyce just posted will also be in the same location so that you have the opportunity to see that. And then, as I indicated, if you something like later on this evening, a question occurs to you, you can either email me, and Joyce put my email address in the chat, or you can give us a call and one of our representatives will be happy to assist you. And someone had asked what my title was. It's the Associate Commissioner for Consumer Education and Advocacy. So I don't see any other questions. That concludes the formal portion of our presentation. We will stay on, but we're not going to be presenting any additional information. So please feel free to drop off the line at this point.